I know. I know what you're thinking. You don't have to say it. I know exactly what you're saying. You're saying Credenda. You just told us all about First Strike. You told us how disgusting it is, how much cheddar, how much pure, uncut, raw, unadulterated gold gasoline we can acquire with First Strike. Yes, it's true. However, you all know I'm a man of my combos. I'm a man driven by micro. I'm a man who's all about that stunt, that class, that flawless VVS. Now, I would be remiss to not mention Lethal Tempo. The new Lethal Tempo? What's the new Lethal Tempo? Oh, let me just clue you in. Lethal Tempo. Gain 15% for melee and 5% for ranged. Attack speed. For 6 seconds when you attack an enemy champion. This effect stacks up to 90% for melee and 30% for ranged attack speed. While this effect is fully stacked, your attack speed can exceed 2.5, and you also gain 50 for AD, or 50 for melee, rather, 100 for ranged attack range, while the capstone, or the keystone rather, is at its uptime, its maximum stacks. So, just like with First Strike, can Jayce utilize both melee and range form of this? Yes. And because he can, it enables a lot of interactions that are just so unique to like the combo element of Jayce. But first, I'll show you how it kind of works, right? It kind of works like Conqueror, right? Where like you have this stack, and I have the 10% attack speed while I'm at these two stacks. I believe additionally, as soon as one stack leaves, it goes to the nearest stack, so 10 and then 5. So say I'm at the full stacks. We'll just show you that here. And then you can also see the range increase. And then for some reason I lose those stacks. Those stacks then decrease on the basis from which I gain them, right? So you don't lose them all at once. You still lose them all pretty fast. So let's stack it fully and really show you the difference between what the range looks like in ranged, what kind of attack speed you're kind of looking like too, because I have no attack speed rune, so this is kind of what you'd be attack speed like, or what you'd be attacking like at full stacks, typically level 1. And then melee, this is what we're looking at in terms of the range. And you can just see from the melee range, like this is pretty insane range. This is pretty insane attack speed. We have 1.2 attack speed at full stacks with the melee, right? And we can take advantage of that. Additionally, I thought this was key to note that you see the 90 attack speed here. If you switch to range, you still have that attack speed, the 90 attack speed, or at least it says you do. The attack speed, I think, would beg to differ. Let's see. Let's get the 1, 2. And then, yeah, so it says it's at 90, but it really does switch you right back to that 0.8. So that's something to note as well. That while it does say you do have the melee attack speed while you switch, it actually isn't the case. Additionally, while you're at this max attack speed, the melee autos with W just come out so incredibly fast. And you also have to take into account, right, like you can hit them from a pretty substantial range now too. That's something to be said, right? But what's the real sauce, right? Like, what can we realistically change about some of our standard combos with Lethal Tempo? Or what kind of value would it give us over something like First Strike? So in order to really like grasp that, you have to get a level of attack speed where you're at, it's kind of a mid to late game stage with this rune. Because I think in that type of a stage it might be better. Purely for what I'm about to show, which is some of the combo potential that you can have with this type of rune. Also, just with the unique interaction that Jayce's W has, where it enables you to such a high attack speed. You really can just attack so fast that it's very hard for them to react. Additionally, like new combos open up, right? So you can like auto E auto. Usually you can't get that auto off before the E auto. But say you're max stacked on melee and you get that auto, so auto E auto, and you have the attack range to do it as well. How fast the W comes out as well is something to take into account. You can really cancel it rather fast once you have that lethal tempo fully stacked. And then beyond the capabilities of kind of like the Super Saiyan form of the lethal tempo, right? How fast Jayce can actually get to that cap, I think has to be taken into account as well, right? Because you can get that first auto, and then after your hypercharge, right, you only really need 2 more autos to get that full stack. So say for example, right, you're starting off against someone with a QE, maybe that first auto, and then as soon as you convert to that melee, the last 2 autos to grab are just so easy to grab because you're getting so much more attack speed in comparison. And then it really just helps transition into a lot of your combos anyway, right? Because when you have such a vast increase in attack speed in melee, you kind of just can't fight him if he's attacking that fast, right? I think it's more DPS than a fully stacked Conqueror, especially if you're melee. Like just look at how fast I can attack. Auto, E auto, Q auto. I mean, having even those 3 autos into that combination, into that space of time is pretty crazy in my opinion. And then the range, right? Like with literally no items, I have 1 attack speed and can still kind of play on this outside of the range, outside of the fight type deal, while also having that melee kind of burst with the increased attack speed, potentially. This is, again, just a first look. I'll probably want to do more combos with this just to see what kind of things and what are the best ways to really get into that max keystone mode, right? Because that would be the objective goal. You're not always going to be maxed out on this rune. But some food for thought of the new lethal tempo, the potential interactions it can have with Jayce's kit, and how unique it really is with Jayce. Like I said at the beginning, I would be remiss to not mention this keystone's potential viability as we begin to test the season more and more, guys. As with the last, thank you guys so much. Try it out in your games. Try to get into the mindset of not just pigeonholing yourself, right, into one rune, one rigid mindset. Be flexible. Be like water. Be like water. Love you guys, and I hope y'all have a great Thanksgiving. This that double decker, you know what I'm saying? You know how it is. Love you guys.